Episode 18, 11:59, Arrow Season 4. This episode was amazing. This episode is what Arrow's about. This episode is what the later two seasons of Arrow are supposed to be about. This episode had almost zero Felicity, and that was a good thing. This episode is what Arrow needs to look at, the Arrow writers, looking back at season 4 and saying, this is an episode we did right. This is an episode where we need to copy this. This is an episode where we need to look at this, go back to it, go back to the basics like we did with this episode, and make a entertaining season 5. This episode was simply great. The flashbacks, finally, some action. They're killing. Talia and Oliver finally take actions into their own hands and start, fighting some of Ritter's men. Finally, Damien Dark is cemented as he has been cemented as a good villain, but he's really finally you get the gravity of his abilities and his power and his influence in this episode. You get that betrayal by Malcolm Merlyn and that whole Thea Malcolm, clash again. That's so classic and such a good part of Arrow. You get David Ramsey's Diggle being betrayed by Andy, and it's like, what? That is great, and you might have seen it coming. I saw it coming, certainly, but it doesn't matter that I saw it coming because it was done in such a good way. Where do I start with this episode? Well, the whole prison fight was simply amazing. I mean, one of the best fights in Arrow history, as Oliver and his team are fighting through Iron Heights to try to get to Damien Dark. The flashback fights were cool, but they weren't like the pinnacle of flashback fights, but they were awesome as well. And the thing is, really, the character development and drama in this episode was substantial, but it was good. Like, Andy betraying Diggle, Thea having that rift with her father again, and the dealing of grief after Laurel dies was just awesome. Like, it was awful. This is one of the first moments in Arrow Season 4 where I felt sad for the main characters, that I actually cared about them again, and I really liked this episode. Now, not only were the fights good, though, like I said, the plot twists were there. The Damien Dark being intimidating, killing Laurel was insane. Just the visceral way he did it with Oliver's own arrow, that is crazy. And I really think people are going to look back. They're going to be like, even if they didn't like Arrow Season 4, they're going to be like, this was a good episode. And how it ended at 11:59. The title, simply the title, being the minute Laurel died. The title was perfect for the episode. The episode itself had great action, great character development, and, it was all around emotional in a good way. And I really like this episode. I'm going to give this episode a 9.6 out of 10. 11:59 is the pinnacle, one of the pinnacle episodes of Arrow Season 4. You just can't beat it. It's entertaining television. So I'd give it a 9.9. I believe I said 9.6 out of 10. I hope you've enjoyed this review, and I hope you enjoyed this episode because this episode is great. I don't even care if you don't watch Arrow Season 4, just watch this episode because it's so awesome. This has been Jonesy from Jonesy TV reviewing this episode, 11:59 of Arrow Season 4, signing off.